Hey guys, this is my first deck profile on the channel. I went 5-0 at my locals recently with this deck. It's Traptrix. A friend of mine told me I should play it again. I played it a long time ago, a lot, and then I played it again when the support came out and just kind of let it fall to the wayside. But I think it's a really fun deck. I think it's a really cool deck. There's a lot of interesting things you can do with it, and I think some of the profiles I've seen recently aren't doing some of the stuff that I like in it. So I wanted to put this out here and kind of like provide some information for people and answer any questions anyone had of me. And if you like the content, I'll continue to make stuff. So please consider subscribing. So this is my list. It's 40 cards, 40 card main. I played 3 Pudica, very standard, and then 3 Mantis and 3 Murmillo. These are the 1-card starters, and this is essentially a 1-card starter. Well, it's not. You have to open another Traptrix name, but this was another Traptrix name. It's like full combo plus some. You got to play 3, and it doesn't matter if you normally get Impermed or Ash, because it's the same thing if you got Impermed or Ash on these two. So you might as well normally the Pudica and have it hit you anyway. So these are the main starters. 2 Dionea, 2 Arachnocampa, 1 for turn 1, 1 for turn 3, and same thing for these. Special it, set a hold that you pitched from Holotea with reset it. This one protects back row, and it's a free special. The free special is like the main thing that really matters. That's super, super strong on this, and it's just another body. It helps you kill, it helps you protect your back row, it helps you extend. So that is the Traptrix lineup. It's 13 Traptrix names. And then plus Holotea, plus the pots, so it's 19 Traptrix names. So you almost always open one. I've had hands where you don't open, but that's like so few and far between, it's not worth considering. 3 Exceed. Exceed is, I don't want to say the best card in the deck, because that's Sarah, but in the main deck, it's probably the strongest thing you could be doing. I think you have to play this if you're playing Traptrix. This lets you play through on Nib, which is like a weird thing to say about Parallel Exceed, but it lets you make Rafflesia if you open really well, and then you can keep playing and comboing. Or if you open really poorly, you can make Ping and search for a Traptrix name. That happens if you open like with Exceed, if you open like Dionea or just Arachnocampa or just Holotea, then you can get Exceed, summon, make Ping, search, trigger Sarah, set Holotea, all that stuff. So the card's very strong. 1 garden, you don't need more than 1. You brick on it if you play more than 1. You want to search this. It's okay if you can't, but you want to search this. This is like what raises your ceiling so much and protects you and insulates you. And if they can't stop the add of this, they probably can't stop your combo, and you're really free to play, minus Nib. So, and even if they droll you, it doesn't really matter when you add this. So, 3-pot. You have to play 3-pot. This deck's always played 3-pot. It's the most like consistency boosting card you probably could be playing. Tantalizing Tune is terrible. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That card lets you go minus so aggressively. And it plays into like every possible hand trap under the sun. Ash is supposed to be terrible against this deck, but if you play Tune, all of a sudden Ash is like the god card against you. So this is just much better. If you're on a budget, which this card is very cheap now, but originally you could have played Tune, but this card is like $5 now. So 3 Holotea. This is the trap monster of the deck. This is like the in archetype Shade Brigadine. This card, very, very strong. Triggers Sarah, sets off Sarah, Reborns from Grave. This does everything for the deck. So there's no reason to cut this down to anything more than 3. You're always going to play 3. You're always going to want to see this card or set it, or there's a million ways to it. So this is pretty much the whole reason the deck functions. And then for the holes, I played 5. I would not play 5 going 4. I'd play 4, and I'd cut the last one that I'll show you. I played Floodgate, which is good into everything except for fusion decks. Even kind of into tier, it's pretty good. But into Branded, this is miserable. Gravediggers stops Nib, stops Droll, stops Ash. Any hand trap that's not Imperm. Imperm doesn't matter to you, so it's just very strong. This is also how you win in time, because it burns them for 2k. So, Solemn Strike. It's not Solemn Strike, it's Tropical Nightmare, but it does serve the same function. Plus, the monster is summoned properly, so if you use this against something, and then you can Alamaris it back. Or, you can ping take it, stuff like that. But this card lets you stop like the branded fusions if they don't have been lost. So, I mean, there's no reason not to play this card. This card is very strong. Time Space, this is the fourth best one. You just have to play something else. You can't just play 3. I've tried just 3. I've tried just 2. I think you have to play 4. This is like the right ratio. Because you want to either draw one to pitch off Holatea, or you want to search it off of Milo and then or set it off of Sarah. So 4 grind. That's some for the grind game too, because you can't always kill them on the crackback. So, but this one stops like Fenrir and stuff, which is very relevant. So, the 5th one I played was Terrifying Trapple Nightmare. This card's terrible. I don't really have much else to say other than that. Like, I resolved it once to pop a Zeus and then banished the Zeus against Versus, and it wasn't even that good then. But they weren't able to wipe my board because I had their heavy Borger under my ping, so my ping stayed for the crackback, and then I killed them. So, 3 Ash for the hand trap lineup. 3 Ash because it works under the next hand trap Shifter. Going forward, I don't know if I main Shifter. It definitely is in the list somewhere because this deck can play it. This was insane. This was like the best card whenever I played it, but I don't know if it's that good into this format specifically. I mean, obviously it's very good into the format, but I don't know if it's as relevant given that every deck is kind of playing it in some capacity, be it like Pearly or Sprite or Unchained. Like, a lot of things can play this, so siding it might be better because if you go into one of those matchups, then this is just worthless to you. Versus, too. I played a Versus player, and I opened this, and I shifted them, and it was just like, okay, like, whatever. Like, this card isn't very relevant. So, then the good traps in this deck that are worth like playing. 3 Imperm and 3 Evenly. You can play other trap cards in this list. I have considered stuff like Different Dimension Ground, D Barrier, and like the side, which there is one in the side, and I'll get to that later. But Torrential I've seen, Strike I've seen, which is not a normal trap, but Strike is still good in this. I just don't think those cards do enough, and I don't think that the way that I have this built is more combo heavy, as you can like tell by the exceeds and stuff. Which is, I think, is how this deck like really shines. I don't know if everyone would agree with me on that, but I think the combo part of this deck is much stronger than the control part of the deck, because if you go set 4 Summon Sarah Pass, right, like, you can't kill them on the crackback no matter what. There's no scenario in which you can do that. But if you make like your board of like Rafflesia, the field spell, Sarah, like another body, set 2, set 1, Holatea Engrave, like, that board is so gummy they cannot break it. The only way they can break it is if they like kill you through Sarah, which is kind of crazy. They'd have to really amass a lot of like resources through all your set cards to be able to do that. So I think it's just much better to be playing this as like a combo version. Evenly matched, very strong into anything. Imperm, best trap. So you play them for Holatea, and just because they're good cards. This deck struggles a lot going second too. So like evenly helps with that a lot. So does Imperm. For the extra, this is like pretty standard. I played 3 Sarah. Obviously, you have to play 3. It's the best card in like the extra in the deck, whatever you want to call it. But like Sarah is very strong. Rafflesia, Ping, Alamaris. This lets you kill. That's how I historically use this card. This 2 materials, Reborn something under Oedipus, and then this is 28, 32, and then usually it's like Dionea or Murmillo. This is 27, 26, because this boosts Traptrix by 1,000, while there's a normal Trap Engrave. And it's kind of access code talker for Traptrix. It can pop a card and can negate many cards. So in some ways it's better, but this lets you play through the Arachnocamp and set Plant Lock, which is like a big deal because being able to kill with that lock up is very, very powerful. This could be like, I mean, you have to play Alamaris, but like there's a scenario where you play Malevolent Sin, which I've seen some people do. I don't love that, but I think it's not bad. I've considered it. So yeah, those are the Traptrix names. For the other cards, I played 1 Dweller. This is a lot worse with Shifter in the main, because like, why would you ever make this if you shifted them? But I mean, I feel like this format you have to play this card because it's just so strong. But I never made it, and it doesn't really come up unless you're playing something like Graveyard Heavy, and even then, like, Shifter is just better than this. Like, I would rather have Shifter 100% of the time and never have wasted my rank 4 on Dweller. Redoer made this sometimes. Bounces a card, non-targeting. well, places it on top of deck. Making this with the Trap obviously is very scary, and then this makes Big Zeus too, so that's also very scary. A lot of the times you can just hold this, and they can't play through your board anyway, and so this is your last interrupt. All of a sudden, you have a 3-mat Zeus. You take another material the next turn, 4-mat Zeus, but you're killing them anyway. But that's how this card can be really scary. Typhon and Zeus came up once, never came up. But in theory, I mean, obviously you have to play these 2 cards because it's an Xyz deck, and Typhon is just very good right now. But yeah, I mean, this I used to like try to out Plasma, and it wasn't even successful to hero Plasma. This is just like Zeus. So 1 SP, you don't have to play this. This could be anything. This could be Ausa. This could be Nightmare Cerberus. This could be Baguska. I played SP because I own the card, and it's just very scary and strong. But you can't swing directly when you use this, and that really screws you up because you'd much rather just kill them with Oedipus. So, yeah. The last 3 cards are I forget his name, I feel bad, but there was a guy who topped the top 16 YCS 250th, and he was playing this stuff. It's the Rika package. It's Jasmine, Strenna, and Teardrop. He was playing the Hyperton, the rank 9 plant that negates a monster effect or a spell trap. You activate a spell trap that turn. I played this because he said he maybe would have played this instead. I've always liked this card. Yeah, so basically like the whole combo here with this is you go you go your full combo of make your full combo of like make your board, and then you turn 2 plants, Holatea and Sarah, or Dianea and Sarah, or Pei and Sarah, into Jasmine, and then you overlay 2 others for Strenna, and then you can Strenna add back a Dianea engrave if it's engrave, because it's added the plant back by attaching a material. You never add back the Pudica because you want the Pudica engrave for Holatea, which is currently in your graveyard if you've done this. And then you go Jasmine, tribute the Strenna, summon Pudica, and then reborn the Strenna, turn it into Queen or Hyperton, and then you turn the Pudica into Sarah. And that's like super strong because now you have tribute and you have Sarah and you have Pudica engrave. Now, some of the issues with this combo, I mean, one is that like it plays into Nib really, really hard, which is annoying. Can't really do anything about that. Like the combo is just strong, but yeah, it plays into Nib. And there's just better things you could be doing, in my opinion, like depending. Like if you play Fenrir, you can be like adding Rise Heart and then overlaying for another rank 4, which also plays into Nib, but gives you another layer of interruption, and you can set more cards because this combo doesn't facilitate setting a trap card at all. Maybe you like drew an M-turn or a hole, or maybe you opened Holatea and were able to set off Sarah. But if you weren't, you're just ending on like a monster board, which this deck wants to do kind of, but you definitely could be doing different things. The cool thing about this is it works on your shifter, because this isn't reborn. This brings itself back. It summons itself and then ranks up. Well, I'm sorry. It summons the monster and then it can attach itself. So it doesn't have to summon from your grave, which is like crazy because if you like summon if you shifter them and then you do this and you can contribute and banish the monster. So that's very scary. For the side, I played 2 Kamungus and a Godarla. This should be 3 Kamungus. I could not find the other one, so I played this. It was okay. I drew both one game and then like both Kamunguses and was able to do this really cool play. Like I tributed some of the other Kamungus. It's an insect, so you can like link it off for Oedipus and stuff. So that's sick. So is this, which is another reason why you play it. I played 1 Duster. It's Duster. I played 3 Nib. This was okay. I don't really love Nib this format, but like it's a blowout card, and you need blowout cards in this. So here we are. I played 1 Thrust, 2 Talents. I was waiting on 2 more Thrusts. I own them now, but I just decided that it was better to play this at the time than like 3 Talents, because thrusting into like Evenly or thrusting into the other card on the side, you can thrust into 1 D barrier, is like strong. Thrust set Imperm is like okay. Thrust set this is really good. That never came up, but I did resolve talents a few times. So this card's good in this. I would play this again. I would probably play 3 Thrust though. The weird cards I played in the side were 2 Skill Drain and 2 Econ. I never drew this, but it's good in theory because the Traptrix monsters are unlocked by trap effects. So if you already have Sarah Fleesia or Sarah Ping or Sarah Fleesia Ping, or I mean Alamaris and Oedipus too, but like those monsters, you suddenly are still live under Skill Drain. So you've established like a one-sided lock in your monsters, so they can't really do anything to you. Econ is good because taking a monster is very relevant right now, and it lets you play through targeted negation when you're going into a board. It lets you protect Sarah if they swing into it, or save you from dying if they swing into it. And it lets you take a monster and then banish it with the Traptrix field spell to reborn and summon a Traptrix back from hand. So, yeah, Econ's very good. I also never resolved it, but I did draw it. But usually when I drew it, I won off of like a board breaker or something. So maybe this isn't like the best. I do think Skill Drain is very strong though, and I'd rather play this than like Gozen or Rivalry, which I mean Gozen is probably the better pick of those two. But yeah, so this was my list. I thought it performed really well. I really liked everything that I did with it at the locals, and I'm going to probably play it again soon. But yeah, I'll update the profile if I change anything, and if you liked it, please let me know.